Hey guys, this is Oracle Daphne. My name is Beth, and I am back again doing your May 2015 financial focused monthly tarot horoscope. And this is for everyone with their sun, moon, or ascendant in Sagittarius. And I pardon you for my voice. I have been talking all day, and it is midnight here, just about midnight here, and I'm losing my voice. But I am using a new tarot deck. This is the Tarot de Marseille, and this is by Pierre Madinet. I'm not saying his name right. I'm not French. This is French. And I don't really go through, because I can't say the names properly, the French names of the cards. I just do the English, names of the cards. Some of them confuse me still, but I am also, doing it the way I do with my other decks, where I've gone through each card and made little notes on what I think the card means, and it's my artistic, creative interpretation of what the cards mean. So there are some traditional cards in here. Make no mistake, there are some traditional things where it's basically, like the Chariot, for instance, it's success. So it's to me, it's always going to be success, but it's also my interpretation about how to get there and what to do and so forth. So before I begin, I do want to say the disclaimer that I've been saying in every video, that I'm not legally responsible for any choices that anybody makes regarding gambling or financial choices regarding business, any loss involved. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I am not liable for any kind of loss, like I said, resulting in any decisions that you're basing on my videos. This is also a general reading, so this is generally the financial outlook for everyone with their sun, moon, or ascendant in Sagittarius, and that's a lot of people. So bear that in mind when you're watching this. If you'd like something specific, please email me. Feel free to email me, elizabetholson31@gmail.com. So, without further ado, I'm just going to shuffle a little bit more and say a few things about this deck. There's really not a lot of reverses in this deck. And there really aren't any yes or no's. And some cards there are, but for the most part there aren't. And I picked this deck because I like the coins. I call them the coin cards, the pentacle cards. The pentacle cards from the ace through the 10, okay? They're just pentacles. So they don't have any kind of distracting imagery like a lot of the other decks do. So you can really, in my mind, to me, focus on the financial aspect. And the more coin cards you get for the financial overview, the more, in my mind, prosperity and abundance you're going to have in that month. Okay, that's the outlook. Now, this is a rule that I made up. This is the way I see it. This is my interpretation. It's a creative approach to using this deck and doing like a financial focused tarot spread. So other people aren't going to do it this way, and they're going to be like, she's crazy, but it's just how I see it. And then also, there's going to be relationship cards too. So this is not just only about the coins. It's not only about the money. It never is, okay? Life is not only about that. So there's going to be more things in here that maybe you're not expecting. There are romance cards in here. There are sex cards in here. So let's just see what you guys get. We'll go from there. Wow. You guys have some serious stuff going on. Lots of major arcana cards. You do have a lot of pentacle cards. Well, I wouldn't say a lot. I'll say 2 pentacle cards. Well, 3 pentacle cards. So, very interesting. So to begin with, you have the star card. And everybody loves the star card. Who wouldn't love it? But my interpretation, okay, of the star card is a financial interpretation. So in order to green up your pocketbook, as in money, okay? You need to feng shui your life. You need to green up your life. You need to spend more time outside. You need to plant a garden. You need to plant flowers. You need to take seeds from the food you eat and plant them in soil and water them and tend to them, put them in sunlight and watch them grow, okay? So specifically trees, apple trees, any tree that you plant increases prosperity. So if you want to donate money to the Tree Foundation, Rainforest Trust, things like that, I highly encourage it. It's going to bring finances into your life. It's going to create that flow because, if you take care of Earth, Earth takes care of you. So this is kind of that thing. And the thing is I really felt that she is very connected to this tree, and she's very connected to the earth and the water, and she's really tending to this earth and the garden in her garden. She has these trees around her, and so I'm tuning into this energy. So I wrote on here, think green, feng shui your life with green and money, and someone who tends to a garden will have money flowing in. This is saying being one with nature. Money coming in, this is abundance in wealth. It says, the stars are watching over you. Money, financial blessings, okay? So this is being blessed in finance, okay? And it's interesting because she is right next to the Cha-Ching Two of Pentacles card. And the Two of Pentacles card is a card that I made up, okay? I call it the Cha-Ching card because I see this as being like a dollar sign, that part of the S, which is a dollar sign, okay? So to me, it's making money hand over fist, having work-life balance, because it's those two things. This is being in harmony. It's to share your money with others, to have enough for yourself and others. This is the money card, okay? Because it's like Monopoly. It's like that dollar. Okay, this is like a dollar basically. This is a balanced budget. This is a great business. This is financial improvement. This is also having love love no matter what. Basically, being in a relationship, there's love no matter what, and it's like there's either two businesses because there's two here things happening. There's love, and there's money. There's business number one. Business number two. Job opportunity number one. Job opportunity number two. This is the flow of life, okay? This is, like I said, potentially two jobs, okay? Working two jobs, okay? But, see now, you can't tell, but basically I turned this into a figure eight with the writing, okay? I kind of created the figure eight. And that is balance, that's harmony, that's infinity, okay? So because you have the star card and the Cha-Ching card, it feels to me that the track that you're on is really good. You need to make some not financial changes, but like minor changes with regards to like feng shuiing your apartment and in order to stay in that flow of money, you need to make some minor adjustments, okay? What's crossing you is, I think of it as a romance card, but because it's a cups card. This is the 9, okay, of cups. And the 9 of cups is, it's also to have abundance in both love and money. This is to feast, to make love, to party. There's enough money for everyone. Any obstacles in business or personal will be overcome. To me, this is like a really amazing start to May. Like, no matter what happens, and I know that there's some stuff that's going to be happening later in May that may be challenging, the beginning of May is amazing for you, Sagittarius. Really, really awesome. Haven't seen this strong with any of the other signs. Other signs have gotten really positive stuff, but this is really, really strong. This is strong finances. This is strong abundance. This is strong love. If you don't feel like you're happy or satisfied in love, then I feel like, just know that the outcome card is marriage. This is the desire for marriage. This is something serious that is coming down the line. It's coming down the pike for you, okay? Now, the foundation is kind of interesting. So you have this very solid, these three cards: the now moment, the recent past, and what's crossing you. It's sort of just like this zone. Like it's like you're in this zone of amazingness right now. But in the distant past, I feel like you had this kind of connection with someone, a love relationship. This is the 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5 of Pentacles, which is a coin card. Very interesting. Okay, coin card. This card talks about cheating. Okay, it says love, sweet and endearing person, affection and appreciation. But if this person is already in a relationship, do not engage, as it will block your blessings and finances. To wait for someone, patience will pay off. To wait for someone or something, patience will pay off in the end, okay? I don't recommend waiting for a guy to come back, ever, or a girl to come back, ever. This is you being patient, though, in life, waiting for things to kind of happen. I feel like things have happened. So this is the distant past. You may still be waiting on somebody. So for those people who are, you need to stop. Here's my thought, and this is interesting because usually my coin cards are very finance oriented, but because you have this 5 of Pentacles, it's sort of like the 5 of Pentacles is saying, okay, really basically you have only 4 because this is blocked from you. This 5th coin, or this 5th opportunity, or the real relationship that you want is blocked from you. So you only have 4 coins rather than having 5, okay? That's how I see it. That's why I wrote this. And I wrote also, it's your choice. I wrote, is it better to be single with money than broke with a lover? That's the question. Because it's your choice. You can be single and have money, or you can be broke and have someone who comes into your life twice a week or twice a month that you shag, and they're not there for you. You like kissing them and hooking up with them and having sex with them, but they're not committed to you, So you're blocked. You're blocked from this 5th coin because of them, okay? And that's in the distant past, but this is also the foundation. So there is some element here. There is some element here of not entirely being all that you can be, or not having everything that you could have that's available to you, okay? You're selling yourself short in all areas, okay? Whether it's financial, whether it's career, whether it's romance, you're selling yourself short. This is selling yourself short. This is choosing to be in a relationship with someone who's blocking your blessings, who's not giving you what you need, a relationship that is not fair to you. And you deserve better. That's the thing. So bear that in mind. Okay, so what's crowning you is the Hermit card. And the Hermit card is very drastically different. I mean, you have these really strong cards here, and putting them together, it's like there's not really a story that's coming to me. It just feels like a lot of things have happened, different situations that are kind of scattered. I'd say you're very scattered, or you're going to be very scattered in the month of May, okay? And this is taking time to retreat from the world. It says to think things through before making any moves. This is to take time out to recover and heal, to find yourself again. And this wasn't in reversed, okay? Basically, love is a light in the dark, okay? So for some of you who are really looking for love, or you're really feeling a little bit lost, okay? And you kind of need people who are around you to love you. You need to send more love to your deceased loved ones. If there's someone in spirit who you can send love to them, because they will love you back, and you'll get the love that you need from them. Even if people aren't really showing you the love and attention and affection that you really need and deserve, okay, you're going to get that from them. If you're older, instead of elderly, this is to spend money unwisely. If you're young, you need to take time before finances become all that matters to you. You need to go away on vacation, okay? So I feel like for some of you who are younger, maybe who are in school, or maybe even if you're out of school, finances have become the only focus of your life, okay? Some of you, not all of you, but some of you. And you need to stop thinking so much about money, about what things are going to cost and how it's going to cost to get there and all that. You need to focus on planting your garden, spending time outside, doing things that are free. Because life is free. It should be free. You're free to go outside and breathe the air. You're free to go outside and take a walk. You're free to go outside and pet the horses, you know? And it's an amazing thing. So that's what you need to do. Take your dog for a walk if you have a dog. Take your cat for a walk. Some people walk their cat, you know. Do something like that. Now, in the immediate future, I feel like there's going to be some delay, okay? This is the card about delays. Sagittarius does things very quickly, lightning fast, and then they miss things. But when there's delay, and I know we have a Mercury retrograde, so some of the signs are getting affected more than others, and I feel like you're going to be kind of hit with this delay. This is delays, worries, stress, troubles. It says that cause stress on the body and the soul. To be separated from the one you love, or to want to be with someone, but they are absent in your life. Financial delays, or delay in building properties, or delay in starting a relationship. The message from Spirit is it's not yet time, okay? For movement, it says it will happen in the spring. It says to wait for the harvest. So I feel like these two cards are very much connected, okay? You have waiting here, and then you have waiting here. So for some of you, it's a lover that really you're in a cycle where you're in love with someone who you can't be with, whether they're married or they have a girlfriend or boyfriend or they're far away. Some of you, it's just they're overseas. Some of you, they're just not with you. And some of you, it's, I'm getting that some of you, it's somebody who's passed away, actually. In your case, I feel like it's just, for those of you, it's for someone who's passed away. I'm feeling there's a couple people. You need to really process what's happened, and you really need to kind of come to terms with it and make your peace with it and send love to them, and then start living your life, because all these delays, feeling like, you're waiting, or there's some delay where you can't get anything moving, it's just going to cause you frustration. Maybe it's like you're stuck between wanting to move on and not being able to because you still love them. These are things you need to work out. And then later in May, you actually got, this is the 9 of Pentacles, okay? It's interesting because you have this restriction. So I'm going to go as far to say, as Sagittarius, if you continue to be in a relationship, those of you who are, to be in a relationship or even in love, if you continue to be in love with someone who's unavailable, your finances are going to be blocked. What starts off as you having, 4 minus, you don't have the 5th, will become, you could potentially have a lot more minus the last one. So you could have, you'll only have, sorry, it would be the 9 of Pentacles. But if you're in a relationship, you'll only have 8. And it would be 5, but you'll only have 4. Or you only had 4. That's the past, okay? To me, they're very similar. This is, in the future, this is you're going to have a healthy bank account. This is, if you're single, you're going to have enough money to pay your bills and some extra to go shopping. This is a paradise that you own or a piece of heaven. This may just be what you really, really want emotionally inside, okay? This is not richness, but stability and comfort. I wrote, her garden is filled with flowers and children, and her husband sits and relaxes with her. So you have this garden thing kind of going on. You have the star card, which is all about gardening and nature, and you have this card, which is all about wanting to have a little piece of heaven, wanting to have your own place that's like your own paradise. Maybe it's you wanting to have your own home, with your own little villa, or terrace. I guess what I was trying to say is like your own little terrace, little fountain, however you want to see it, a little tropical garden. Some of you have your own ideas about what paradise is. You'll have to fill in that. Paradise is for you. Yeah, everybody's different. You're really focused on that. It really isn't about being rich for you. It's just about, you want stability. You want some kind of place that's your own piece of heaven that you create yourself. And you can have that, by the way. You can have that. But you have a couple of things going on that back to back, boom, boom. So you have, in the beginning of May, you have the Star and the Hermit. Boom, boom, okay? And then at the end of May, or towards the end of May, you have the Moon and the Wheel, okay, of Fortune. So the Moon, let's talk about the Moon first. You can see there's a lot of writing on here, okay? This is a time of emotional and mental trial, okay? This is a time of behaving irrationally, suffering an emotional breakdown. This is a journey through darkness, not seeing or thinking clearly. This is ups and downs in relationships, cycles of breaking up and getting back together, cheating and being cheated on, giving too much and not receiving enough. This is needing to be what I call defogged and defunct by Archangel Michael. You need to avoid alcohol, and you need to see a therapist, okay? You may have enhanced psychic power or enhanced creativity at this time, and this is a time to examine your shadow self. So, this is kind of how April has felt to me a little bit, even March. March significantly felt like this, and I kept getting this for myself. So I can tell you that it's really about, it's almost like you're going through your Saturn return. Some of you are going through a Saturn return, okay? Those of you who are between, I guess, the ages of, because the Saturn returns every 29 years, so those of you who are turning, it started for me when I was like 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. It's about 7 years, give or take. Some of you may start at 27 and go to 33, okay? But it's usually about 7 years where you're going through this period of time in which you're basically getting tested to really examine yourself, to examine your shadow self. That's what Saturn does. It pushes you to be who you're supposed to be, and yet tests you emotionally and mentally at the same time. So it's like the two things kind of going, against each other. Your mind going against your emotions, and this is why people get caught in kind of cycles of cheating and cycles of breaking up and getting back together, because there isn't that calm in your mind, that peace, that harmony where, everything's in harmony. Your mind is in harmony with your heart. You're in a good heart space. A lot of times what you might call the dark night of the soul is a time in which you have a lot of changes to make within yourself. And you have a lot of outside physical changes to make, a lot of transitional changes. So it's not just about, having a nervous breakdown and getting over it. It's about having to change consistently, having to kind of getting pushed to where you really need to be. And it's like every time you get to that place where you can go, I can just rest, my heart and my head are like together, it can't, because then the universe says, no, it's time for you to move on, you need to do something else. And then you kind of get to that moment, and then it does it again. And it just continues to do it for about 7 years until you're really become who you're supposed to be in the world. So for those of you who are between the ages of 26 and I'd say 33, you've gone through this. Some of you are coming out of this. Some of you Sagittarians are coming out of this, and some of you are going into this. In the month of May, for you to get this card tells me, and this is what the universe is sending you, tells me that you are being tested. Your head and your heart are not going to be in alignment. Your heart is going to want something, and your head is going to say, no, but that's not good for me, no. And then you're going to go out and drink, or you're going to go out and do something crazy, and it's going to be where you feel like a little bit out of control. There's a need to be a little bit wild, and Sagittarius already has this. Some of you are going to feel very depressed, and this is why you're going to need some therapy. This is why I say avoid alcohol, get therapy, do as much physical activity as possible, running, exercising. This is important for you, Sagittarius. You need to be physical, okay? And just know that there isn't, I had somebody email me recently, and they just wanted answers so that things could get better. So that things could be, so it's like they could have the key to unlocking what it was that they're supposed to be doing, so that they can just go ahead and do it, and then everything would be all right. And it doesn't work like that. You have to go through the process. You have to learn about your shadow self. It's not going to be where, you get to that moment and the universe just lets you be. During that 7-year period, chances are you're going to have a few moments of peace, but then because your life is going to be in flux, whether it's moving, or whether it's a new relationship, or whether it's letting go of something old, or whether it's career, questions, it's going to be difficult for you to feel satisfied in that moment, and to have that peace that you really need. So you have to find your peace when you get it. It's sort of like you have to imagine you're like a doctor, okay, who's on call 24/7 for 7 years, okay, and you get your sleep when you can get it, okay. You take your naps when in between patients. You take your moments of peace and harmony and happiness every now and again, and it's little snippets. It's not going to be where you get the keys, where you talk to a psychic and they tell you everything that you need to do just so that you can have your peace. If you're in that 7-year period of time, or you're between the ages of 26 and 33, chances are nobody can tell you what to do. And you may even get to a point where you're very, very low, and you're very, very pissed off and angry at the world, and you're hating your life. And you're like, I hate the life. I hate my life. And there's nothing anybody can do for you then. You have to do it for yourself. You have to say, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to be all right. I'm going to find a way to get through this, and I'm going to make changes and choices that are hard, but they're going to get me to be where I need to be. So and I'm getting a strong tingle on this, it's not going to be easy, but you kind of have to do it yourself. You don't have to do it alone, but you have to make those choices and decisions yourself. And once you do, you'll be where you need to be. And then at that point, you'll have learned those lessons. You'll have stepped into your own shadow, and you'll be enlightened. And then you'll be kind of free of it for another 29 years. And then you'll go through like a whole new series. But the thing is I feel like people that are older, that are going through it, women, men that are in their early 60s, late 50s, they're seeing it from a different perspective because they've already been through it once. And so it's a different set of challenges. I feel like their challenges are less about who they are supposed to be in the world and more about, some of them need to examine that too, okay? But more about coming to terms with everything that's passed, everything that's happened, coming to terms with where they're supposed to go from here, not giving up on whatever life they have left to go, and saying, well, I am 59 years old, and so what do I have left to offer? It's a different kind of process. You need to kind of re-engage with the world, whereas like the world kind of ground you up for 7 years when you're in your late 20s and spits you out a beautiful butterfly, okay? And then slowly but surely over time, you did things, went places, had a family, not had a family, traveled the world, and then you come to this place maybe around 58, 59, and you say, I'm not sure about this life. I think it's time to make some changes. And Saturn comes along and helps you do it, helps you reinvent yourself, grinds you back up, and then spits you out a completely new butterfly. But you're kind of ready for the process because you've already been through the process. So you kind of know how to handle it. You handle it a little bit better the second time around, and you're a little bit calmer. You're less angry. Usually people in their late 50s, early 60s don't have so many, I'm getting the word hang-ups, and frustrations about being angry at the universe because they don't have that, almost that leftover teenage angst that someone who's in their 20s does. They've been there, done that, so they don't have that angst. They have frustration and they have confusion, which is still part of the process. So I guess, these are people that these are the ages that I'm talking to here in this reading. If you're specifically, again, from the ages of about 56 to about 62, 63, you're going through that. This is what May is really testing you on. And this could be the beginning, this could be the middle, this could be the end of your test, depending on how old you are and where you fall into that test, okay? And then for those of you who are in their 20s also, this is a test for you, testing time for you. May is a testing time. It's interesting. So it's like you have the moon, boom, you have the wheel, okay? And the wheel in this deck is about high stakes. It's about risks. Okay, it's about, and this is in the upright position. It was not in reverse. So this is, yes, if the upright position, this is, to go ahead and take the risk if there is a risk, but be very cautious, okay? Maybe you want to take a risk. Maybe you want to go maybe on some kind of wild and crazy trip to Australia, and travel the globe on a hot air balloon or something crazy like that. Sagittarius does his own thing. So I'm not judging you, Sagittarius. I'm just saying, if this is what you want, then you need to heed the warning. Only gamble what you can afford to lose. Okay, only do it if you can afford whatever, I guess, loss could happen because of it. Whatever you're risking, it's kind of like when you jump out of an airplane. And I've never done this, but say I did. This is like, um, people don't realize what risks they're really taking. They think, oh, it's going to be great. I'm going to go skydiving, da da da. But there's a lot of risk involved. Death is involved, kind of thing. So I feel like for you, you have to evaluate the risk and be really clear about it. Okay, be really clear about, okay, if I go hang gliding, am I going to, break my leg? Is there a chance that I'm going to risk breaking my leg? And if you have a newborn, that's not a good idea because that newborn needs you. If you have, a wife that needs you, maybe because she's depending on you, then it's not a good idea. You need to evaluate the risk. You need to have somebody else help you evaluate the risk because I think Sagittarius they have these big ideas, these grandiose ideas, but they really don't think it through. And then when they get to the point where they realize there was too much risk involved. Be also very careful not to take advantage of others as what goes around comes around. So this is kind of a warning about karma, okay? This is saying be more giving, be more generous. If you get into a situation where you can give somebody, it's a 60-40 split and you take the 40, they get 60, good, okay? If you have an opportunity to give something to someone, give it, okay? This is karma. Be very careful about karmic things happening where you need to be doing things out of the goodness of your heart, out of the kindness of your heart, rather than, and Sagittarius can be very selfish, self-focused, I should say. Selfish can sometimes come off as being mean, but it's a self-focused sign, and it is the most self-focused sign out of every sign. So because you have the wheel here, you might want to do something that's kind of different and wild and big, and it may be a big risk. And the answer is yes, but not at the hindrance of others, not at the expense of others, not at the expense of yourself, not at the expense of people in your life, not at the expense of your wife or your partner or your kids, not at the expense of anybody, really. Do it if you can afford to do it, if it's something that you feel like is important to you, but not at anyone's expense. Because if you do it from the self-centered part of you, it's not going to go well. It'll be a very negative experience. It will come back to bite you in the ass very quickly, and not in another life, in this life. Be very careful, okay? Usually the wheel of karma is, it can take time. But for those of you, especially those of you who are paying off karmic debts or going through this tough testing soul time, and it's because that time, that 7-year period is a time where you're paying off debts, boom, 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 boom. So a lot of shit can happen to you during that time. So if you're in the middle of paying off debts and you pay off a lot, or even if you get to a point where a lot of it's completed and you do something where it's very self-focused, it's not thinking about others, it's taking advantage of others, kindness or generosity, this is where it's not healthy and it will come back right away. So you need to be very careful about that. So that brings me to my very last card of the night, which is exciting. This is the card about getting married. This is to want to get married, the desire for marriage. This is to go to a wedding. This is many blessings from heaven and spiritual enlightenment. This is prosperity. This is abundance of wealth through marriage, okay? You need to let go of the fear of loss and not be afraid of love, okay? So your choices are to give up what you fear to lose, or to consider what you would have if your fears came to pass. So again, it's interesting because you have this choice. You have this element of risk. Do you take the risk? Do you get into a relationship? Do you fall in love? I say yes to love. Always say yes to love. Don't be afraid of it. You always come out a winner no matter what in relationships. Even if somebody took you to the dry cleaners, and took all your money, even if they stole everything you own, you still come out a winner. Why? Because karma, see, it's interesting because we have that. Karma takes care of things. Karma is a bitch. Karma will bring that back around on somebody else. I always have serious compassion for people who are going through karma because I have paid dearly in life for karma, okay? Which my clients, a lot of them know some of it, but the extent they just don't. So it's one of those things where I always have compassion for anybody who's going through it. But even if you got totally raped in some way, financially, where somebody, your relationship with somebody, and they took everything, it's totally gone, okay? Terrible situation. You're still going to come out with an experience. You're still going to come out with lesson. You're going to still come out with strength to get through that experience. And that's part of why the universe sends you this testing time, to see if you have faith, to see if you have trust, to see if you have the inner strength to get you out of it, okay? And I feel like you are going to have a lot of you are going to get married. A lot of you are trying to make the choice whether you should be in a love relationship. Some of you are scared of having a real relationship. This is why it's easy for you to get into this. I feel like this relationship that's not this waiting game of, is he coming to see me tonight, or is she coming over tonight? Are we going to be together in the end? Are they going to leave their spouse? Are they going to leave their partner? Kind of thing. It's easy for people to get caught up in that. When they're afraid, they're really just afraid of having a real relationship. Now, some of you may just be at a point where you're ready to get married. Maybe, and I don't see that partner in this here, but maybe you're just at that point where you're ready to be in a partnership, or you're trying to make the choice whether you should or not. Definitely choose love. Definitely risk it. Definitely go into it with an open heart, an open mind, regardless of what happened in the past with anybody. And because a lot of times people get to this point, right, where they're confused about what road to take in relationships because they've been burned before, because they've been hurt so badly. And Sagittarius gets really hurt because they want love and passion so much. To me, it's sort of like they're crossed. Like love and passion are the same thing for a Sagittarius because they're on fire. Okay, and the problem is sometimes there are some signs that don't see it as being both. Okay, they see love as being one thing and passion as another. Sex is not the same as love for some people. Some people it is. But for some people, it's not, okay? So the problem with Sagittarius is that they kind of really roll it all together, and it becomes, usually for a Sagittarius, more than it is for somebody else, especially the person that's sleeping with them, I feel, because the Sagittarius is seeing more into it, usually, than the other person. Why? Because I feel like the Sagittarius goes into it with that passion, with that desire, with that love, all kind of rolled in that little scary bundle. And that's scary for some people. And then the truth is then Sagittarius then gets hurt over and over again. And it goes, well, where is my Mr. or Mrs. Right? When am I going to meet him? And the truth is, as soon as you get over that fear of getting hurt again, you will find your Mr. Right or Mrs. Right. You will meet them. It just will happen. So that's the outcome here for you guys. I feel like you need to let anything go that's not serving you. as far as anybody who's unavailable dating-wise, anybody who's in a relationship dating-wise, let that go. Any delay is okay. That's a little rhyme. It's good. It's another t-shirt that I need to make. Things will happen in due time, okay? You can't force things to happen. And some of you are going through this testing time, which things are not going to happen the way you want. You're going to have to take your naps like the doctor, which is having that peace of mind and maybe having that romance or maybe having that sex or whatever it is, those little snippets, whatever you can get at that time, during that time, you take, okay? Because that's, that's what you need, because you're emotionally and mentally kind of unstable during that period of time in your life. But after that, things will balance out. I feel like after you go through this time, you need to do some kind of evaluation and risk management and think about others and what others want and what's good for others. And then it'll lead you down the road to marriage eventually. That's all that I'm really getting. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be back for June doing more of these financial spreads, but let me know what you think. Feel free to email me if you have an interest in doing a private reading. We can use any deck that you want. I am going to be back for my sex and relationships videos, so stay tuned for those. And I send you all the best. Have a wonderful night. Big hugs. Big kisses. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Okay, take care.